By now, you might have already heard of some of the daily routine habits of successful people. People always mention how successful people always wake up early at 5 a.m. every day, or how they always read the industry news every morning. But what are some specific examples of the daily routines of some of the highly successful people of today's world? From Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Mark Zuckerberg, they all have one thing in common. They're highly successful at what they do, and each of them has a routine they follow to stay at the top of their game. Stick around to see their daily routines and you might learn something new today. We start off with the daily routine of Elon Musk. He's a successful entrepreneur and billionaire with an estimated net worth of $22.8 billion. He's the current CEO of both SpaceX and Tesla, as well as having a hand in co-founding various other large companies such as Neuralink, PayPal, The Boring Company, and OpenAI. Here's how Elon Musk's daily routine looks like. Elon Musk usually wakes up around 7 a.m. He's mentioned to some sources that he usually gets about 6 hours of sleep every night. That may seem like a few hours, but for someone that's always on the road and managing two separate companies, that's enough to get him through the day. So after he wakes up, what does he do next? Eat breakfast? Well, apparently Elon Musk has stated that he actually usually skips breakfast, but if he doesn't, he usually has a fresh cup of coffee and an omelet. After that, one of the most important things of his mornings, according to him, is that he always takes a shower to keep fresh. So after Elon Musk's quick little morning routine, the next part of his day is where he really gets down to business and his daily routine begins to look like no other. Before we dive in, here's what you need to know. Mondays and Fridays, Elon Musk is at SpaceX in Los Angeles. In between those days, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, he's in the Bay Area working at Tesla. With the responsibilities of two companies, it's no wonder that people have estimated that Elon Musk works between 80 to 100 hours a week. His time is almost split evenly between the two companies, while also spending some time on the side contributing to the company OpenAI, an artificial intelligence company. In order to get through his 80-plus hour work weeks, Elon Musk splits up his time into 5-minute slots, outlining what he needs to do in order to stay on track each day. Elon Musk's daily routine method of breaking up his time into 5-minute slots is simply regarded to as the blocking system. He's super productive, only taking phone calls if absolutely necessary. He also only invites people that must be there, and if you don't contribute, he has been known to remove people. Now, where does he find the time throughout the day to do everything else? Well, he's been known to eat his lunches and dinners while still working. Multitasking is what he needs to do to get through his busy day. His work carries over to the weekend, and Musk has stated that he can get through emails on the weekends while still spending time with his 5 children. As you can see from his daily routine, it's very refined, planned, and ordered. This is how he stays on track in order to manage 2 separate companies and also have the time to spend with his 5 children. So how does Jeff Bezos' daily routine compare? First off, Jeff Bezos is in charge of a lot. Similar to Elon Musk, he's the CEO of Amazon, founder of the Blue Origin, and the owner of the Washington Post. Currently, he sits as the richest person in the world with an estimated net worth of $111 billion. Surprisingly, for having a lot of similar CEO responsibilities to Elon Musk, Bezos' days are not so rushed. He goes to bed early and rises early. He actually doesn't set an alarm clock and likes to wake up naturally. For his breakfast, Bezos usually spends time with his family, reads the newspaper, has a coffee, and interacts with his kids before they head to school. Jeff Bezos labels his mornings as his puttering time, going about calmly and smoothly until his first meetings, which he usually schedules at 10 a.m. Unlike Musk, he devotes almost 100% of his time to Amazon. Bezos has stated that he always schedules his most important meetings first. Anything that's mentally challenging, he tries to schedule them before lunch. You know, the closer it hits to 5 o'clock, our brain usually slows down and hits a wall. Since Jeff Bezos has a lot of challenging decisions to make each day, it makes sense for him to not let fatigue be a factor later on in his day when he's making important decisions. Like Elon Musk, Bezos' meetings are strictly enforced with only the necessary people in those meetings needed that will contribute. Because Bezos likes to keep fresh every morning, he usually cuts his days short at whichever time he feels he's getting fatigued and resumes everything on the next day. Because of his daily routine, he usually gets around 8 hours of sleep each day unless he's traveling to meetings in different time zones. Out of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk's days, which would you rather have? Leave a comment below. I for sure would much rather have Jeff Bezos' day so far, but there's a lot of other days we have yet to see to compare to. Now, let's have a look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates at one point in time was the richest person in the world until he got passed by Jeff Bezos. Right now he sits at $106 billion estimated net worth. He's known for being one of the founding members of Microsoft, the world's largest personal computer software company. Now, Microsoft is known for some great things like the Xbox franchise and some not so great things like the Windows Vista. Bill Gates is much older now and pretty much only serves as an advisor for Microsoft. He spends most of his time today doing philanthropic work through his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Because of his philanthropic work, his days are pretty much varied and revolve around traveling the world. However, when he's not flying off to new places, he's spending his time at his home and in his mansion in Washington State. When he gets up in the morning, his wife Melinda has stated that he usually skips breakfast, but if not, he's usually eating Cocoa Pops, his favorite breakfast cereal. He also hops on the treadmill and runs for about an hour to stay in shape. Considering that he's older than 60, he knows how important it is to take care of his body at this age. Bill Gates then reads the latest news such as the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and The Economist. Reading and in part learning is very important to Bill Gates. He's an advocate for reading, having set a goal for himself to read at least 50 different books a year. Interestingly, Bill Gates has his time broken into the 5-minute blocking time system that Elon Musk uses as well. In order to get through his manic schedule, Gates implements this system to be productive, but Bill Gates also ensures to take time away from his crazy schedule from time to time and take think weeks. During his think weeks, he not only gets away from his schedule, but he goes back and reflects on what happened the previous week and ensures that he explores his creativity. Bill Gates has stated that it's important to have this feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you did before and how can you do that better. Bill Gates also believes in cutting work time short if needed, often not working after dinner and instead relaxes and spends time with his family, much like Jeff Bezos. So by now we discovered that out of the 3 billionaire daily routines, Elon Musk handles a lot more tasks than that of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. So how does billionaire Warren Buffett stack up to them? Warren Buffett is a businessman and investor worth about $82 billion. He is most known for being the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, a conglomerate holding company having ownership over some popular brands of today like Geico and Fruit of the Loom. Currently, Warren Buffett sits as the 3rd richest person in the world. So how does he go about his day? Well, first he wakes up at about 6:45 a.m. each day, stating that he no longer has the need to get up at 4 in the morning anymore. He begins his mornings by reading the Wall Street Journal, which is to no surprise since his type of work relies on watching how the stock market is doing each day and how his own companies and investments are doing as well. For breakfast, you can usually catch him stopping by at his local McDonald's in Omaha. His wife Astrid hands him either $2.61, $2.95, or $3.17 before he heads to work. Those are exactly the necessary amounts he needs to get either of his 3 favorite orders each day if he wants to. Warren Buffett has stated that his diet is like that of a 6-year-old, opting to eat his favorite food and drinks only. He's been noted saying plenty of times that he drinks about 5 cans of Coca-Cola each day, and that being over 80 years old now, that is surprising to say the least. But in order to counteract his diet, he also does some exercise as recommended by his doctors beginning back almost 10 years ago. Although he wakes up really early, he doesn't usually begin work until the stock market's open, which is about 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Once he's in the office, Warren Buffett begins to read. An estimated 80% of his day is spent reading according to him. Similar to Bill Gates, Warren Buffett recommends to people that they should read each day if they can, and at least 500 pages should do the trick to learn more. So although he still continues to work, he has stated that he doesn't have to at his age, and at this point in his life, he's just doing it because he loves it. If there's one thing to take away from Warren Buffett's daily routine, it's that at this point in his life, he has acquired enough knowledge in order to make the necessary decisions needed as the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. Having a company that's already successful and thriving, his days are much more relaxed than many other CEOs who are part of emerging companies such as Tesla and SpaceX. Finally on our list, we have Mark Zuckerberg, most famously known for his social media company Facebook, which also owns WhatsApp and Instagram. Valued currently at $74 billion, Mark Zuckerberg was the youngest ever to become a billionaire at just the age of 23. After waking up at 8 a.m., Zuckerberg has stated that he immediately checks on his Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp on his phone. Once he receives his morning updates, he exercises. Usually this is about 3 times a week, and he usually goes on a run with his Hungarian sheepdog named Beast, who sort of looks like a mop. After exercising, he doesn't skip on breakfast like the others, opting to eat whatever he's feeling to eat that day. If there's one thing you need to know about Mark Zuckerberg's daily routine, it's that he tries to eliminate all the necessary decisions of his day, like deciding what to eat and what to wear. This is why you always see Zuckerberg in plain t-shirt and jeans. Mark Zuckerberg keeps everything simple. He's also a fan of learning new things. Like a lot of billionaires, Zuckerberg has tasked himself with reading at least 2 books every week. He's also working on learning Mandarin Chinese as well as building an AI for his home. Learning and doing new things is how Zuckerberg stays inspired and focused when he's putting in 50-hour work weeks at Facebook. According to Lee Byron, a designer from Facebook who sits near Mark Zuckerberg is usually in the office at your typical 9 to 5 time. He sits in a similar desk setup to everyone else and is pretty much around doing regular CEO stuff each day. Now when he gets home, he usually spends time with his wife and his baby daughters, always making sure to be there to tuck them in whenever he's not traveling. So there you have it, 5 billionaire daily routines from the hectic life of Elon Musk to the much more relaxing life of Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Which daily routine would you rather have and why? Be sure to leave a comment down below, and I hope you learned something new today.